you need to hear about what the ACLJ does, because beyond this broadcast, which we're obviously covering the news this morning of what's happening, we are involved in legal matters at absolutely no cost to our clients. And a lot of these clients would not be able to afford the work that we're doing. But because of generous supporters, we're able to do that. So Cece, give us an update. This is actually coming out of Southern California.
That's right.
Again, I think a little bit of information I'm happy to share. Southern California, one of the strongest areas for our listenership, for our viewership,
right,
for our supporters, ACLJ champions. A lot of them come out of Southern California because I think they feel maybe the pressure
right,
that we don't feel in Nashville. You know?
Right.
So tell us about what happened.
Yeah, so in California, and it's Southern California, it's the city of Manhattan Beach. The parks facility there has a policy that allows people to rent, the public to rent their facilities, such as the community center rooms, picnic shelters, parks, athletic fields. And in their policy, they specifically have a clause that says facilities will not be used for religious worship or other religious purposes. So we have a client in Manhattan Beach that reached out to them and said, well, we want to reserve one of your community center rooms for a religious purpose. And they, of course, were shot down because of this policy that they have. And the ACLJ, as you have mentioned multiple times, you know, all these people have to do is reach out to us at ACLJ. ACLJ.org/help.
Yep, it's a real simple form. It's very easy.
Absolutely. And they get put in touch with an attorney. So we got a contact from this client and we went into action immediately and sent out a demand letter to this the Manhattan Beach Park, letting them know that this is against the Constitution, that the First Amendment protects the rights. You can't exclude speech based on its content. So you can't exclude speech just because it's religious.
And this is an issue that at the ACLJ we've won on for decades.
That's
it's
right.
also an issue that if you ever go to a church that meets in a school.
Yeah. It's settled law.
Right.
But sometimes you got to remind people.
But that's what the ACLJ fought for, that if you open up your facility for people to rent, you can't discriminate based off of their viewpoint. This is a classic viewpoint discrimination case. That's, if you hear that term, this is what it means. It means that you're letting people use your facilities or rent your facilities or even just gather. But if they have a certain viewpoint on something, such as their faith or their religion, you are discriminated against and are not allowed to use it. And so that's kind of the argument, something that we've won in court and at the Supreme Court for decades. Right. That's the arguments we take. It's not just a, hey, this isn't right. It's we cite the case law and everything that we've worked on for decades to present to them why they can't do it. So we start with a demand letter.
That's right.
And what's the process from there?
And when we give the demand letter, we give them a statement of law. We tell them what the background is, you know, who we're representing, what the statement of law is. And then we literally give them a deadline. And in this case, we have given them until Tuesday, May 29th to respond to us. And that response needs to be that they've changed their policy, that they won't discriminate against our client anymore, and that they will allow him to rent this facility. And so if that does not happen...
if they don't do it, because we await that, you said the 29th.
That's right.
So that's just a few days away.
That's right.
What happens then come, I guess, midnight the 30th?
We are set to file a case against them in court, and we will. And we will take this to court, and we will fight, and we will show that this is, like you have said, established law. You cannot have viewpoint discrimination if you allow facilities to be rented for the common purpose, but exclude only religious use. That is illegal.
But we have to still, even though we could say it's settled law, it is what it is. When it goes beyond a demand letter, because you are dealing with Southern California, all bets are off. And I think that's always important to know, too. We have to have the best of the best. You have to have the best attorneys on this. And that's where ACLJ supporters, ACLJ champions come in, people that support the organization either by a single one-time donation or get in the recurring program, which we call ACLJ champions. Those are people that are champions of life, champions of liberty, champions of freedom around the world, but even in your own backyard. And again, this is in Manhattan Beach in California, around where our buddy Rick Grinnell lives. This is what's happening in our own country. And if people don't stand up against it, we'll never get involved. We have to hear from you. We obviously are out there searching for, we're talking to people, but a lot of them come in from people who just go to our website, Go to aclj.org/help. They fill out a very simple form, and that form immediately goes to a ACLJ attorney, and it's determined if it is part of what we say, if it's in scope of what we do here. Obviously, we're not doing family law, those kind of things, but if it's within scope, religious freedom, practicing your faith, and so on and so on. Go read the list. There's a list of things saying on that website. Even if you can even go there, even if you don't need help right now, but you want to be familiar with the organization, because we're ready for you. Because of ACLJ supporters, we are ready for you at no additional cost. And I think that's very important. We are, the law firm does not charge you. If you call this number, you're not getting, hit with some fees to get connected with a lawyer. None of that happens. We are just there for you.